Vinyl Community. This is Randy. I have picked up some records here in the last part of March, and I'm going to show those to you today. So the first one that I'm going to show you is actually the most recent one I've gotten. But this is a band called The Comet is Coming. This is a jazz record. This is what we're hearing in the background right now. Back cover. Here, this is a gatefold sleeve. Here's what the band looks like. This record is one that Impulse was promoting heavily on their webpage for the past month or so, I think, and it came out just a couple of weeks ago. It's a British band. The Comet is Coming. The name of the record is Trust in the Life Force of the Deep Mystery. This record is just fantastic. I'm more excited about this record than anything I've heard for quite a while. They are classified, I guess, as jazz on Discogs, and I would agree this is jazz. It's a drummer, a keyboard player, and a sax player. The guy plays sax. He also plays some bass clarinet, which is fantastic. I love the sound of a bass clarinet. So, yeah, this record, new jazz. It's I would call it heavy, funky music, or it is jazz, but it's definitely got a beat to it. It starts out slowly. If you're hearing it now, it builds up. So it starts out with this song called Because the End is really the beginning. It builds up from there. By the time it gets to song number 3, Summon the Fire, they are just absolutely cooking, and I would highly recommend to you that you check that song out online. I think I'll try to leave a link to that too. I can tell you, I saw a YouTube video of them playing it live, and that's really good. The recorded version is not quite so frantic as that live version, but still great. I do have one small problem with this record. Song number 4, Blood of the Past, featuring Kate Tempest. The song starts out great, and then about 3 or 4 minutes into it, Kate comes in talking. She's not singing. She's just talking. I don't know why the band decided to do this. It just completely turned me off as much as anything I've ever heard on any record. It's so great up until then. She talks for 2 minutes. I've timed it. The thing is, after she stops talking, they really increase their intensity, and so you can't pick up the needle and say, well, I'll just go ahead and skip to side 2, because side 1 ends with some really great stuff. So then side 2 takes that intensity and I guess sort of builds it back down, so that by the end of the album you have a really satisfying conclusion. So I have listened to it a few more times, and I'm getting used to Kate. I really don't understand why the band did this, but it's their choice. I guess they liked it like that, so maybe it'll grow on me. So I just have to get past those 2 minutes. But other than that, this album is just wonderful. So if you're inclined to listen to any jazz at all, I would highly recommend this one to you. I went to the record store to buy that record when it came out, and I got there and they didn't have it, so I ordered it from the record store. So while she was looking that up and everything, I was browsing around. Actually, when I came into the record store, the first thing I saw was this. This was on the wall there at the record store, their new releases, and so I thought, that sounds really interesting. Anyway, I browsed for a while, and she took all the information so that she could tell me when the record got there. So I found some other records, and I asked her, should I just take that Vertigo off the wall? She said, yeah, that's the only one I have. So I'm glad I took it. This record is soundtrack to the movie Vertigo. It is music composed by Bernard Herrmann. I guess the person maybe most associated with Hitchcock soundtracks. The cover is just wonderful. The sound is incredible. They went back to the original analog recordings in England and remastered, I guess, the original analog. So the sound on this is just wonderful. It's basically like listening to classical music, but it really does bring back the music, and I mean, so it brings back the movie so well. Look at this inner sleeve. I mean, that's worth the price of the record right there. So awesome. Back of it, here's Jimmy Stewart. Here's Bernard Herrmann with his dogs. This tells about the recording. So this record just sounds great. It's really high quality pressing. The cover of it's great. Really happy I got that one. It's also on this really cool Varize Sarabande label. I think they do soundtracks, is what they're known for. So yeah, it's a new mix. Sorry, it's a new mastering, and yeah, really good. So also while I was there browsing, just going through the new records that she had there, it was Duke Ellington record. I don't have any Duke Ellington. I have a box set, actually, a CD of some Duke Ellington, but I was never listening to that. You know, Duke Ellington, one of the pillars of jazz. I was looking at this record. It's once again, it's a new master. It's a really high quality pressing. This album cover is really nice, and the record itself is on this heavy 180 gram Columbia Masterworks label. So this is really good. Duke Ellington, I mean, you know, what can I say about Duke Ellington? I've never really listened very much. It's more of that big band sound than jazz, really, I would say. But this record is awesome, and I will listen to it some. And the thing I really like about this is it has Take the A Train on it. It's the last song on side one. And it has the vocals. It's sung by, oh gosh. Well, I thought her name was printed on there, but I see that it's not. Yeah. Yeah. Betty Roche, R-O-C-H-E, does the vocals on Take the A Train. So that's great. You know, Take the A Train song, I've heard a lot. I knew it had words, but I really didn't know the words. She does a great version of it, does lots of great scat singing on this. So, yeah, my first Duke Ellington record. Very enjoyable. Side B is mostly a tone parallel to Harlem, which is an extended work, and then it ends with Perdido, one of his classic songs. So I'll listen to this some, and I think this has inspired me to look for the Coltrane meets Ellington record. So I think I'll be looking for that in the near future. That same trip to the record store when I went to, where is this? I saw this Autobahn record. I'd recently, well, in the past 2 or 3 months, I'd gotten a copy of Kraftwerk's Computer World record. I had Computer World and Man Machine back, you know, when they came out, but I lost those somewhere along the way. Anyway, I saw this one and I picked it up. This is fantastic. I had never heard this album. This is not their first album. I think it's maybe their second or third album. All of side one is Autobahn, 21 minutes. Just beautiful. It just goes through several changes. It's very peaceful and relaxing, and mostly they're just singing about driving on the Autobahn. Side 2 has 4 songs on it. All really good. Kraftwerk, German band from the 70s, I think. It came with this insert, which is really quite nice. Shows it's just the scenery while you're driving down the Autobahn. Really nice package. This has inspired me to, I really want to look for Man Machine now. And actually maybe the first Kraftwerk album if I can find it. The inner sleeve on this Kraftwerk album, really cool. Pretty sure that's Ralph and Florian there. They're the two, for some reason I know those names. I don't know the other names of the people in Kraftwerk. I'm sure I can look them up. Cool picture on the back of that. So Kraftwerk, yeah. One last record I bought there that same day. She had a lot of good records that day. Canned Heat. This is their first record. It's this is a Sunday's reissue on mono. Sounds really good. This is Canned Heat. This is mostly them doing covers of songs by the blues pioneers. There's 2 or 3 songs on here that they wrote themselves. These are all shorter songs. They're all 3 to 4 minutes long. Well, there's Catfish Blues, I guess, is 6 minutes long, but mostly these are all 3 to 4 minutes long. So not like some of their later albums where they have like the 20-minute long jam songs, which I like those too. But I think this is much more accessible. So Canned Heat, I think this is a reissue from, when did this come out? It seems like it was around 2015 or something like that. This is not a new record. It should be available if you're interested in that. It came on just a standard Liberty label. I got in the mail a couple weeks ago this Vinyl Me Please. I'm not sure why they put these little things on here. It doesn't really accomplish anything, but I guess I'll keep it. This Vinyl Me Please of Miles Davis and John Coltrane. Paris, March 21st, 1960. Cool. Inner sleeve. This shows the band. This is basically the Miles Davis quintet that recorded Kind of Blue. It's Miles, John Coltrane, Win Kelly on piano. Well, Bill Evans, I guess, did most of Kind of Blue, but Win Kelly did one song on there. Paul Chambers on bass, Jimmy Cobb on drums, no Cannonball Adderley here. This is a 2-record set, and they do So What on here. This is one that I saw on Discogs, and I really was not aware of it. Oh yeah, it comes with, in addition to that Obi, it comes with this, instead of liner notes, it comes with this little booklet which sort of tells the story of that tour. This is a really good recording. It's live, obviously. I guess you might wonder, well, what's the point in getting a live jazz album when really they're recording live in the studio? Well, I think they take, more chances when they're live and they stretch out a little bit more. In this one, the liner notes are quite extensive, and it tells how this is Coltrane's last tour with the Miles Davis Quintet, and how Coltrane was really expanding at this time and growing. It's interesting to listen to it because there's parts in here where Coltrane is really skronking and going at it, and I can hear the audience reacting to it. I thought they were liking it, but according to these notes, they're whistling and stuff, and they were not accustomed, they were not ready for what John Coltrane was doing at this time. So there's no booing or anything like that, but I guess some people were just kind of shocked at that. I think it sounds great, and of course to our ears, after hearing, later Coltrane, it's not shocking at all. But this is an excellent album. March 21st, 1960 in Paris is when this was recorded. So this is a 2-record set. 180 gram vinyl. Comes on these labels that look like these. A big reason I got this was it was a companion piece to this record that came out last year. So that was a Vinyl Me Please. This is just a regular Columbia recording. So the covers are exactly the same except for the blue and the gold writing on them. This one is from March 24th, 3 days later in Copenhagen, and this one is only 1 record. This one also has, what did I say? So What was on the first one. Yeah, this one also has So What on it, and On Green Dolphin Street, which are two of the ones that are the same. But other than that, they are not the same. They are different songs. So it's good to hear how they played them differently on two nights. Here's the part of this record where the woman is talking. I don't know if you can really hear that or not, but that is her talking there. So, yeah, I got this vinyl Me Please basically as a companion to this one. They're both, recorded excellently, and they are Coltrane and Davis, at their peaks. Of course, they both had very long, extended peaks, I suppose. Yeah, this is what the single record one looks like, and instead of a booklet, this came with a inner sleeve notes. The notes are written by the same person who wrote this booklet, and a lot of it's the same, but it's not exactly the same. It's great. The last thing I have to show you today, I ordered this off of Discogs. Anthem of the Sun with the white cover. The reason I got this, I've wanted this for a long time. I've had it with the original purple cover, but I was watching Trey at Imagine Just Records a couple weeks ago, and he showed this record, and I think he just found it when he was out digging. And this is really the one record I've wanted to get for the longest time, just because of the white cover. So when I saw that he had this, it really just inspired me to go ahead and order it, just because I thought, well, I really should have that. I'm sure I saw the Grateful Dead more than Trey did. Anyway, here's the original cover. They remixed it. It came out in '68. They remixed it in '71. Released this mix in '71 or '72. Then with the purple cover. Then they released it again in '75 with that new mix with this white cover. I'm not really sure what the reasoning for that was. The covers are exactly the same, except for the backgrounds on it. So, yeah, this is like a mandala, and these are actually the members of the band here in these pictures. Yeah, so Anthem of the Sun, the second Grateful Dead album. It's a mixture of studio and live recordings. That's my favorite Grateful Dead album. So I'm really happy to get that one. So that's all I have to show you for it today. Getting ready for Record Store Day coming up in just over a week or so. Yeah, some of the records I want to try and get on that day. Yeah, so that's it. If you have any comments about these records, I'd be interested to know what they are. And yeah, just leave it in comments below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day.